Oh, howdy, lieutenants and economists. Hang on, there's grass in the way. Say, hey, Cap, where you at? Well, lieutenants, I'm at the Badlands National Park. I figure I'd do my little YouTube video for all you young kids out there, because once again, my YouTube viewership is younger than my other viewership. And instead of being in my mother's basement, of course, where I always broadcast, I figure I'd take you out here to South Dakota, and you'd have some beautiful scenery, even more beautiful than me. And the reason I'm tired is because I had to hike out here to kind of get this shot, and then I found like poison ivy all behind me. And I said, you know, to hell with it. I got to get back before it starts raining, because there's going to be rain. But what I want to talk about today is how did I get out? How'd you get out there, Captain? Well, mechanically I got out here by a motorcycle. But how is it that I could spend 2 weeks at a drop of a hat, just pick up and go, and start writing my books out here in South Dakota? And the way I can do that is what's called independence. Okay, Davis, the Voice Arini, and I were talking about this because that's one of the drawbacks is when you're out here, no one else could just like take off for 2 weeks and come join you in the Black Hills and the Badlands, because everyone's got jobs and they're responsible and they're adult. So my main communication with people has been over the interwebs, and Davis and I were talking. We got on the topic of peerlessness, how, you know, there is no peer out here. Technically, not to sound arrogant or cocky, I am peerless, at least out here. No one could just take off and go. You know, how many people could do? I'm sure there are some, but I don't know them. So with the internet, you meet these people, like Davis and some others. But one of the things he said about peerlessness is just how few people truly are independent. And we weren't talking about independent-minded, we're talking financially independent. And I thought I'd explain what really is financial independence. Okay? A lot of people say, well, I'm independent. And the meaning of the word independent is not your attitude or moxie or how ballsy you might be. I guess that's the male version of moxie is ballsy. But whatever, it's not your attitude. It's whether or not you could survive on your own. Whether or not you receive any kind of subsidy from any entity, be it your parents, the state, or what have you. Like my girlfriend and I, we were having brunch over in, where was it? Was it West Side, Minneapolis, or North? No, it was it was Plymouth. And there's, her and I were just sitting there enjoying our brunch, and behind her was a dad, his daughter with her little baby. It looked like an adopted kid. He wasn't the same race as the daughter and the father. But in any case, the kid was, 18, 19, well-behaved kid. And so we're just eating our food, and you can overhear the conversation because they're sitting so close to us. And the father says, "How you doing? Are you doing okay on cash? Do you need more cash?" And she says, "Well, diapers are they're more expensive than I thought they'd be." And I'm like, fuck. Okay? The place we went to brunch was a high-end joint. Okay? I wasn't super high-end, but it definitely is not low rent. And what you have here is no doubt someone who's a single mom and thinks they're all independent and everything. At the age, roughly about my age, she's got to be about 34, 35. Got a kid, and, her dad is asking her if she needs an allowance. Okay? That's not independent. That is a dependent person. And it got worse. I went and grabbed some food. My girlfriend was, eavesdropping on the conversation. And she just got back from Arizona, where she's getting her master's. Lord knows, of course, nothing engineering related. But good Lord, when the hell do you start pulling your own goddamn weight? And thank God for bringing a kid in on top of it. All right? Now, I bring that aspect up not just to display a lack of independence, but dependence, but to show you that it doesn't matter where the money comes from. A lot of us, we're on the right side of the political spectrum here, and we always harp on people who collect government checks, and you'll say, oh, look at, trailer trash, inner city trash, whatever, but there is no moral difference between a person who collects a government subsidy from daddy, bail me out, and someone who collects it from the government. There's no real difference. That person is still dependent. Okay? So any kind of cash, any kind of subsidy, any kind of money that you get, you're not independent. Now, the point I'm trying to make with this, or to help out you younger kids, is a lot of you are in high school, some of you are in college. And especially for the boys, the women I'm sure you compete like maybe with fashion or something's a little bit different. But realize you cannot compete financially with kids that are collecting a check. And the perfect example that came up, I got an email from a young reader, high school, asking about, all these guys with fancy cars in this high-end school district. Well, none of those kids paid for their own goddamn car. Their parents did. Now, of course, I don't expect high school girls to have the wisdom or maturity to say, you know what? That brand new Beamer 500 class that, what's a good high school preppy kid's name? Stu? Thaddeus? What's a good Tanner? Taylor? It's my generation that named them. I'm trying to think. Let's go Thaddeus, okay? We got Thaddeus. And she's not going to say, oh, Thaddeus didn't work up to buy that Beamer. She's like, dude, Thaddeus has a Beamer. Oh, my God. They don't know where the money came from, and they don't care, right? But you can't compete against that. Right? That does not mean, however, you are a lesser person because you don't have as nice a car as Thaddeus. Or ladies, you don't have as nice as clothes as... What are they named? What's a preppy girl's name? I don't know. It's so hard. Tammy? Cindy? That's not preppy enough. Well, you got them. You go to school with them, whatever. You say, oh, she's got the nicer clothes. Yes, but she has not the moral caliber and character and quality that you do. Not technically, you're not independent if you're living at home and going to high school. But you are more independent than she is. And you cannot compare yourself on something that has such a lopsided battlefield or has such a lopsided advantage over you, namely their parents' finances or subsidy. Okay? So for all you out there who are like, well, you compare yourself to all these people that got all that extra cash, don't. It's not a fair comparison. But when you do become an adult, when you do become 18, yeah, inevitably you're going to want to become independent because that's what adults do. And it's not only that, that's what they do. So, well, if you jumped off a bridge, would you do it? All of society relies upon each individual being independent. Okay? And if enough people are dependent, where you have a welfare class where no one's working, I think right now, we got one worker or 1.5 workers supporting 2 people. Like, the majority of the population does not work. I think it's only 40-some% that work. The reason why is, of course, retirees and children. They're classes or groups of kids that don't work. But more and more people are just going on the dole. Now, if each individual unit of society, meaning humans, start to get corrupted and become dependent and do not produce the economic production necessary to support themselves and pay... Got flies out here. Hang on. I think I got them. If more and more people don't do that, society will collapse. So it's not something that, just adults do, right? Independence is very important. If you plan on having kids or you brought one in, you might want to instill not only in yourself, but in your children that independence is probably the most noble thing or required for society if you plan on having kids. Now, if you're like me, a nihilist, misanthrope, hedonist, Machiavellian sort, I don't have kids. I don't have any skin in the game. So, which is, again, why, and I know you all give me guff about this, why I'm like, yeah, if you could collect government money, go right ahead, man. Do it. Because, you're not going to get it back. You've paid in. You might as well take it. If they're going to offer it, go ahead and take it. But on a larger, more moral, philosophical scale, if you are going to have children, if you... plan on leaving a genetic legacy here on this planet, you better teach independence. Right? Otherwise, if you're a selfish bastard like me, you don't have to worry about it. So that's all we got. I gotta go. I have to drive around Badlands National Park for the book. I have to take pictures. I gotta go try different restaurants and I gotta review them, guy. I have to do this. And I wish I could work hard on other things, but I really gotta knock this out. So